The tyre selections. I know that the Shell team are down there with a set of intermediates ready to go. We've had the opera glasses on those, and the boys are going to be working out now with this blue sky imminent whether they want to go and do intermediates and move to slicks, or whether they're going to stay out on these wets to the point where they can do the one tyre change before they run home.
Well, it's a critical decision too.
Certainly is. We've got the light out on the pace car. It as pulls off. It's car number 1. The leading Nissan leads them up.
Sunshine for the first time today here at Panorama.
You won't believe the bad luck that's befallen Alan Moffat once again. A rear differential has failed, and Alan's been in here for 2 or 3 minutes already. Greg Hansford sitting disconsolately at the wheel. You can see the work going on under the car. These 9-inch differentials were developed in Australia because they were supposed to be bulletproof compared to the original diff setup that the Sierra had. They should be able to run thousands of kilometres without any trouble, but bad luck has befallen Alan Moffat once again. Differential failure on the car 10 when it was running in a very strong 8th position.
Another piece of brilliant 7 technology there that we now kind of take for granted. We affectionately call it stick cam, and without getting in anybody's way, this tiny camera at the end of about an 8-10 foot rod. You can just slip it under the car, catch all of the action without inconveniencing the pit crew in this critical work.
Interesting stuff now on top of the mountain. Dickie Johnson at the wheel of the 17 car, and car number 2. Anders Olofsson back in that car. Signalling to the drivers as they come through there on the way to Forest Elbow. Well, we have the traces of a dry line starting.
And traces of competition as a result. It's definitely going to make for more interesting viewing, I'm pleased to say.
It's the battle for second.
Another drama, Mike. Look, oil flags are out. We've got oil on the track somewhere.
We'll have to follow that. Now Johnson trying to stretch the Sierra. He's running second on the road at the moment behind Mark Scaife and Jimmy Richards, and the man sitting behind him is Anders Olofsson in the number 2 Winfield Nissan GTR. The only man standing between them and a 1-2 for the afternoon is Dickie Johnson at the moment.
And they're gobbling him up there under brakes at the bottom of Conrod.
Well, they will in the wet. Now Olofsson coming straight down on the inside. This is how easy it is. He can run through there. There's not a dry line there. The car doesn't get sideways at all. Johnson closes it up. Now Johnson's getting egged into a bit of a race here, which he really doesn't need. And a straight line, if they could find a bit of straight line here, it'd be interesting to see what Dick can do with the GTR, but it's like waltzing on ice at the top of the mountain because there's no dry line up there. Look at this, Dick. I don't know if he appreciated that.
Well, Dick would want to be in front going over the top of the mountain because that's where the Nissan has the biggest advantage with the four-wheel drive in these damp conditions.
My information was that they've already rolled the slick tyres out for the next pit stop for the 17 car.
It's a moment with one of the little cars.
We're now at the halfway distance as car 74 takes a little reverse there.
The GIO car was in 5th position, stopped on the side of the road. They've been able to fire it up and they're heading back to the pits.
Blowing a lot of smoke when it pulled up, and not blowing any smoke now.
And some damage to the front right as well.
As they had it coming together with a Sierra.
Who was that he came together with? One of the Sierras.
Ken Matthews.
Ken Matthews.
Yeah.
Here we have the replay. Watch this. There's Ken Matthews around. He gets hooked up with the GIO car, and there was the mobile Commodore up on the inside.
Pissed out the window.
Oh, Gibbsy was anything but impressed about
that.
that.
The tyre drama.
That started off the tyre drama, as Doug said, coming down beneath the GIO bridge. They've got it into the pits now. Should be able to bring you up to date, and Bob Forbes there Mark Osler is down. I don't think that one was in the script, Mark.
No, certainly not. Looking running in 6th position in such a difficult race with a great effort by the GIO crew up till now. But there is, well, there's a lot of oil leaking out of the front of the car. There's obviously been a bit of damage to oil coolers at the front of where they're located at the front of the engine. They're changing tyres, they're throwing off the wets, they're putting on slicks, but quite severe damage to the front of the car. Apparently it tangled with a Sierra. I think I heard you guys mentioning that. Bob Forbes is a very upset man at the moment. He's looking pretty strong here. So a lot of work going on, but I can tell you there are gallons of oil tipping out of the front of this car.
Here comes the number 2 Winfield Nissan, Anders Olofsson of Sweden in the car.
And staying in the car.
Yeah, staying in the vehicle. So Anders has done a great job running support for the number 1 car today. And Dick Johnson coming into the pits now just ahead. He's going to change over the slicks as well.
And they're doing pads, I think, too.
Could be. JB ready to step in. And JB is down there to cover JB's pit stop.
Yes, thanks very much, Mike. The brake pads were there just in case they were going to try and hold off to the next stop. It looks like they're going to be able to do that. And otherwise, it's just a straight driver change and tyre change onto the slicks, as was quite rightly pointed out. Topping up at the engine oil. They want to get this one out of the way quickly. The only gamble with, of course, leaving that brake change out is that if the brakes wear down a little hard, it can make the later change a little difficult. But I'm sure they've worked that out. And in 34 seconds, they're off and running with John Bowe in the car.
And while all that was going on, Johnny Brady, the number 2 Nissan, has rejoined the race. Anders Olofsson still at the wheel, and as a result of that pit stop has overhauled the Shell Sierra, and they've swapped positions.
So 2 rejoins in 2nd, 17 in 3rd. Race leader is still the number 1 car. Peter Jackson Falcon V8. Did a very impressive debut here at Mount Panorama. Basically an untried car. And AJ, our former Formula 1 world champion, concentrating.
In 11th place.
Haven't had the opportunity with Racecam before to watch Alan Jones. Been sensational, of course, in the BMWs. Just like another day at the office.
It's a different look to Seaton, though. You've got to put the wide-angle lens on when you're trying to get pictures of Jonesy. He can't hear me, can he, Mike?
Oh, I just hate to think that he could.
He's a violent man.
Okay, number 1. The leading car coming in for its pit stop. The 2 car has been and gone. This should be a quickie.
Yes, in and out without surrendering the lead, I would imagine.
Freddie Gibson stands at the front of the car.
Mark Scaife staying in it by the looks of things.
And Mark Osler is there.
Mark Scaife indeed staying in the car. Just had a check of the brake pads. This thing is not using a lot of brake pads. Very impressive performance from the car. But the pits are so tight that we've actually got to move out of the way. They've gone backwards. Now they're going forwards. Very slick stop. They're actually back on the ground in just under 24 seconds. Remarkably quick stop from the Nissan team.
Split times on the Caltex scoreboard. Of course, Richards and Scaife continue to lead. 26 seconds the margin now over their teammates, Olofsson and Crompton in the 2nd Winfield Nissan. And 37 seconds the margin over 3rd place getters Car 17 Johnson and Bowe. 4th place, Longhurst and Chicotto still the Vincent and Hedges BMW, and rounding out the top 5 in car number 16, Alan Grice and Wyn Percy.
Wyn Percy comes on to Conrod Straight. And the sun is out, and that must feel good for a palm. What about it, Wyn?
Well, it looks pretty good at the moment. The weather's a lottery, obviously, but we seem to have got over